Hunger Jake here with yet another Panther battle, this time finding myself top tier on the Ruinberg map. Now, beside me and ahead of me are going to be two very key players to help make this game not only an ace for myself, but a win for the team. The T-71 DA was ahead of me, and the T-43, who's already using the in-game menu to communicate. These two are going to be crucial. So keep an eye on them through the game, and not only see my gameplay, but watch how we three work together. Now I move up to the middle, and of course, immediately, all I get shot by is premium. It seems like that's the rule anymore. For at least for the enemy players, everybody fires nothing but premium. Not that it actually helps them. But as you can see here, I'm going to focus on the A43, get a little bit of payback. Now he's in a very, very good spot, and so is the Super Chaffee. The Super Chaffee a little less so, because he does not have a high alpha gun, nor do they have any armor. The MX-1375 is trying to get in there as well, so we can't have three in place. The best tanks to secure that middle position, even though you could see that the A43 had the golden mastery badge, which means he's actually aced it. It's one ace to get the first badge that is kind of grayed out. It's then 3 more to get it to be the red badge, and then I actually forget if it's 5 or more to get it to the golden, as I have it on the Panther myself. But our team is actually already securing the eastern side pretty well so far. But getting back to what I was saying about the A43, as he's about to be overrun. The A43, despite having that badge, the golden ace, which means he's aced it over and over and over, that was the point of that, he went to one of the worst spots he could go for his tank. The A43 is nothing but DPM. It has basically no armor. It has a gigantic ammo rack. And low damage. It's no armor, no alpha. It's all about mobility and DPM. And he went to a spot where you need armor to use for hold down, or you need high alpha to limit your exposure. Same kind of gameplay the Panther has. Although the Panther actually has some workable armor, especially when it's top tier like this. And here I'm just, so far there hasn't been much commentary needed about my gameplay. It's very straightforward. As a top tier medium, you need to be controlling the middle of the map. The game, it can be won through the city, but it's much harder. It's easier to control the middle and the east if you get your mediums out here. And that almost calls back to an issue that I've seen a lot here lately, where mediums want to brawl. And that's not where mediums are most useful. As I use the DPM to good effect here on the ISs, because that's a platoon of IS-2s, as well as the Tiger P. Now, I need to move back. As you can see, I've already started motoring back, because this is going to highlight what I was just talking about. Winning through the city can be pretty hard, because both caps can be defended from the edge of the field. All you need is a little bit of coordination, just a little bit. And as you see, if you look, I told you to keep an eye on the T-71 and the T-43. Here I am trying to put some pressure on the D-Max so he doesn't just keep shooting at our Hellcat. They were in kind of a standoff. And here comes VK shooting at me. So I'm just going to motor forward to the corner and proximity detect these guys. Now I was saying keep an eye on the T-71 and the T-43. See, the T-71 and T-43 had started to push north along the eastern edge of the map. If you look at both of them, the T-43s actually came back. And he's one of the ones putting fire in here. whether effective or not, it's still at least fire, and it's preventing them from pushing around the corner. And my proximity detection was keeping the Tiger P at least visible. And I don't know what the enemy VK 3000.1P is doing. It's kind of crazy he decided to drive forward. But the T-71, instead of continuing a blind push into the T-150 and Super Hellcat, he came back to the middle to support the T-150. And instead of pushing the T-43, he came back to get near where the KV-1S is and help support me. So we're actually seeing some teamwork, seeing some repositioning, and a little bit of covering of each other. As we've lost the Hellcat down here, despite my assistance, but now all we have is the D-Max. And I am kind of getting this little spider sense going on behind me, thinking that the T-150 is going to get pushed by the two IS-2s, and then if he gets killed, I'll end up with the IS-2s right behind me. And again, I do not know what's going on with the enemies just deciding to drive forward. So, got the D-Max knocked out, and now there's no threat to our cap unless the two IS-2s give up the mid and drive around to capture. Which, of course, that would be exactly what we would want them to do, because that would free up the T-150. But now, as the T-71 and T-43 are both reacting, they are making the right move. And as I click back there, what we need to do now is kill the Super Hellcat and the T-150. Our KV-1S was saying that he'll cover base, and I was just confirming that. He's sitting a little too far back for him to actually be able to do any self-spotting. So he's going to cover the base, I guess, only if they stumble into the cap. He might have to roll forward, because as is where he's sitting, he won't be able to spot anything. The KV-1S is pretty blind. But now I'm coming into the middle, because if the two IS-2s are still sitting there, now if you look, and this is something you should do, look and see if the remaining tanks are platooned, and those two guys are. If they both hit me, I'm dead, because of course that's a 390 Alpha gun, so you round up and say 800. I don't have 800 health left. I have 651, which means I can eat a shot from anybody, but not two shots. I'm going to use my health. T-71 is coming from the other side. I'm going to do a drive-by on the T-150, but I don't want to drive too far forward, because one of the IS-2s is capping, but the other could be coming back. I'm going to keep some pressure on the T-150, though. Give the T-71 a chance to come around. T-150 has about an 8 to 9 second reload, depending on his crew and equipment. So he shouldn't get a second shot off, and he doesn't. Again, good teamwork. Now, I don't just drive out, because while one IS-2 is capping, the other one is currently unaccounted for, and with our T-150 dead, nobody's spotting the middle road. So that IS-2 could be on his way back already. So I'm going to use a little bit of cover that this down tree gives me, which will give me first shot advantage. And as you see, I really don't have any intentions of actually capping, unless they genuinely don't return and don't give any kind of effort. I'm fully expecting one of the IS-2s to come around that corner, and I'll put one shot into him, and I'm going to bail. And there it is. Because now, if he's drove all the way up here, we've just split the platoon up. And once the platoon's apart, they can be killed separately. Destroy one IS-2, and then the other. And as you, again, look at the T-43, and look at the T-71DA. They're both doing some good work there to the south on that IS-2, and here I am coming around, and I'm going to try to catch the poor guy in a crossfire, because he can only point his front armor and turret one direction at a time. And Lucky for him, first shot hits the track, second shot bounces, and it never should have. So now he's aiming towards me. And they get freebie shots if they can sneak in. But I need to get turned around because, again, they're platooned. That IS-2 is going to be coming around. I figured he was going to be coming down the road in the very middle. But I get a little surprised, and I think so does he. He took the long way around. And he blew his shot. He actually went to ram me, which is not going to work out well. The IS-2 does not have much of a weight advantage, and it does not have a speed advantage over the Panther. So he came out worse for wear in that, and ended up being a win, as everybody pounced and worked together. Our P-43 Biss was saying that it was a choke after I left cap, but no. It worked out to be a very nice example of teamwork, with me getting an ace, the hand of God from getting damaged a whole bunch by a bunch of people, bunch of ribbons, and the Confederate. And with about 3,000 damage, it was a lot of credits earned and a lot of base experience. And moving on to the team list, you'll see that myself and the T-71 finished number 1 in experience, and the other one got number 1 in damage very closely both ways. And the T-43 did a nice contribution with good teamwork all the way to the end. And he actually contacted me and thanking me for actually being a good teammate for once. But I hope you enjoyed the battle, and thanks for watching.